Hey guys, I'm here to, this is Chris Nets, The Dream, here to recap my reviews of WandaVision. So I just finished watching the finale. Boy, did it feel like a little under an hour. Well, technically it was an hour because if this was on TV, with the commercials, it would have added up to an hour. So kudos for Marvel and Disney finally making WandaVision an hour. Plus, spoilers, spoils a little two after credit scenes. Um, it started off where Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen, and Catherine Hahn were where they left off, where she was choking out the boys and stuff. Well, she keeps telling Wanda about her power. She keeps telling Wanda that she's the most powerful person, that she could use it. She wants her to bring it out. She eventually yanks the boys so hard on the magical leash that they hit the ground, and Wanda sends Agnes flying. And then all of a sudden, it kind of reminded me of the Wizard of Oz because she sent her through her house and a car fell on top of her and all you saw was her feet. So, um, then you got the white Vision showing up and she thinks it's Vision. She comes up to him and asks him, "Are you real?" And he starts touching her cheek. Then all of a sudden he does like this crush WWF WWE move where he's giving her a vice grip in her cranium and she's like, ah. So then all of a sudden the real Vision shows up and spears him so bad, and they go through buildings and they wind up in this library, and eventually they're talking to one another, and they realize that they're both being used as plots in the sense by the government. So the real Vision uh, touches his stone, gives him all his memories, and the white Vision just leaves and says, "I am Vision." Who knows where he might have gone, where he's going to show up next in the MCU? We don't know. Um, you know, during the scuffle with Agnes, after Agnes got knocked out, Wanda did send the two boys back home to their room, and then all of a sudden, the 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 family bands together, and you see a superhero stance, and the boys show up again, and Scarlet Witch tells the boys, "You handle you handle the army. She's going to take care of Agnes." Um, you know, the scuffle between Agnes and Scarlet Witch was pretty long. I don't even know why Agnes says Scarlet Witch has all that power, because she was giving Wanda a run for her money, but Wanda does have the most powerful uh, magic in the MCU without a doubt. Um, we come to a part where the townspeople are around and they're telling her, no, Dottie comes up to her, so can I, can your boys play with my daughter? Can she be a part of the show? Can you write in her as a bully? and stuff like that. And at this point, we could tell that Agatha Hartnett is kind of stirring the pot. And then you see all the neighbors, even Kitty from that '70s show. God, I love that show. Is asking her, "Can you let us free?" All the neighbors, and all Vision's work people. They basically the whole town. Is they? Oh, we do in this episode get a glimpse of the delivery guy again. In the middle of the fight, he just comes past his by like la da da, like nothing. And then all of a sudden, in the mob of people begging her to stop, he's there too. He's somewhat normal at this point. And then, the actress that plays Kitty on that '70s show, Miss Deborah, says to her, "Well, if you're not gonna let us go, then let us die." And she goes, "I promise I'll let you go." She's visioning everything that's going on. Agnes is basically telling her, "You need to choose the townspeople or your family." And she sees the boys coming up to her, they're pixelating. Vision's coming up to her, he's pixelating. And so she just leaves like half-half. Then it comes to a point where Wanda gains control. And remember, we still got the evil guy with the army on his way, and we still got the actress from Two Broke Girls. She's on her way, and basically all of a sudden Wanda regains power, and she puts Agnes back in the Salem witch trial and awakens all her family members, including her mom, and they all, and she's getting scared. Oh, I love it when Wanda gains control because she comes up, sneaks up behind her, and does that magical thing like she did to Tony Stark and really got in her mind. And she was scared being back in the Salem witch trial. And eventually Agnes gains power of that too, and they start turning against Wanda. Then all of a sudden, they're back fighting in the sky. She says those who create the power have to manage with it and deal with it, basically. In another sense. And you see all these symbols, and Vision and the boys are just watching. And at one point you think that Agnes has won because Wanda's just knocked out, but she's just floating there. Then all of a sudden Agnes tries her powers, and there's no purple magic coming from out of there. There's no purple magic coming from out of there. Oh, at one point during the episode, we do get to go to Pedro's house, the fake Pedro. And this guy, I don't know, from the X-Men movies and this series movie, whatever you want to call it, to me it's like a movie. He's a messy dude. So you see him like kind of roughhousing Monica Rambeau, and she's going through his documents and stuff. Then all of a sudden she sees his name is Ralph. That's where the infamous Ralph character that Agnes has been talking throughout this series, that's Ralph. So he roughhouses her. Then all of a sudden Monica Rambeau does this like judo flip or this fireman's carry. A lot of wrestling going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe today. So he's like, please, he stop, and he breaks out of the trance. So, and she goes, "Well, nice to meet you finally, Ralph." And that was it. So Wanda regains consciousness. She gets her original. She started getting her original crown in the Salem witch trial. That's why they broke out of that trance. And Agnes was like, "No." Well, now in the last fight, she regains the total Scarlet Witch outfit and classic villain style. Agnes is saying, "No, no, no." So, um, Wanda brings her back down from the sky, drops her down, and Agnes is like, "You're very dangerous." She keeps going back to this same thing. "You don't even know what kind of power you have. What are you gonna do with it? You know you need me." So then Wanda comes over to her and touches her, and she's like, "No, no." She goes, "Well, what are you gonna do with me now? You gonna lock me up somewhere?" And Wanda's like, "No, I'm gonna give you the role that you chose, the nosy neighbor." And she touches her, and all her witch outfit goes away, and she's like, "Wow, Toots, somebody," she tells her she looks hot or whatever, and she does that fake little giggle. And Wanda just walks away and goes, "I'll see you, Agnes." So they go back home, and they change their clothes, and everything looks fine. But the hex seems to be going away. And so Vision and Wanda tuck in the boys. And Wanda goes, "Thank you for letting me be your mom." And they just look outside the window holding hands, kissing, and he goes, "I left you before. I don't know what to say." And they start crying and kissing. And she goes, "Don't worry. We'll say hello again." And everything disappears. And we're back to the same house plot where the house is not there no more. It's just an empty space. And Monica, and Wanda's back in her clothes that she had when she stole Vision's body. And she just puts on her hood and looks at everybody from the town. And Monica Rambeau is there, and all the police and all the authorities and the military, and they arrested the guy that wanted Vision as a weapon to begin with. Oh, that's another thing. He tried to hurt the boys, and Monica Rambeau jumped in front of them, and she absorbed the bullets. But then she noticed that Billy stopped the bullets, and she's like, "Nice tricks." And the government guy got in the big truck and tried to ram into them. That's when Cat, Darcy from Two Broke Girls, just rammed into him and said, "You're going to jail." So that was basically the whole episode of the whole thing. So that was cool. That was very, cool and stuff. So yeah, that was the whole episode.